Good evening, students. Welcome to the class on coordination chemistry. We were discussing about crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes. As we know, in a tetrahedral complex, ligands will not approach the central metal along the axis. They will approach the central metal in between the axis. Of course, they don't exactly coincide with these T2G orbitals also, but they are nearer to T2G orbitals. As a result, in tetrahedral complexes, T2G orbitals will experience repulsions and EG orbitals will experience stabilization. Now, the magnitude of crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes is considerably less than that in octahedral field. You know, when we compare delta T and a delta naught, delta T is very small. Delta T is small compared to delta naught. There are two reasons for this. You know, in an octahedral complex we have 6 ligands, so we have greater repulsions, whereas in tetrahedral complexes there are only 4 ligands. They will experience lesser repulsions compared to 6 ligands. So the crystal field splitting is smaller compared to octahedral complex. Now, the direction of orbitals. You know, in octahedral complexes, ligands exactly approach the metal ions exactly in the direction of orbitals, exactly in the direction of EG orbitals. That is why they will experience greater repulsion. Whereas here, the ligands are not exactly approaching T2G orbitals, but they are nearer to. So that is why they will have lesser repulsions with the T2G orbitals in tetrahedral complexes. Because of these two reasons, delta T is small compared to delta naught. Generally, we can have this relation also. Delta T is 2 by 3 because 4 by 6, 4 ligands in tetrahedral out of 6 ligands in octahedral, and there is a 2 by 3 fraction for these for the second point. So altogether we have 4 by 9 delta naught. So delta T is equal to 4 by 9 delta naught. So whenever you are given delta T, we can calculate delta naught, or if we know delta naught, we can calculate delta T. So the relation is delta T is equal to 4 by 9 delta naught. Now, since delta T is small, all tetrahedral complexes are high spin complexes. That means we don't observe any pairing. So once EG orbitals are filled, then electron go to half filled, then electron go to T2G. Once T2G orbitals are half filled, then only electron pairing starts in EG. So we don't observe low spin complexes in tetrahedral complexes. We do have only high spin complexes because of low delta T. We can also have this CFSC table for tetrahedral complexes also. Number of d electrons, then electronic configuration, because all tetrahedral complexes uh, will give only high spin complexes, so we don't have low spin complexes. So there are only one possibility. EG we have 2 orbitals, T2G we have 3 orbitals. If a complex, in a complex, if metal is having 1 electron in d orbital, then we need to write it here. So that is Eg1. Then delta T is minus zero point -6 delta T. If a complex, in a complex, if metal ion is having 2 electrons in tetrahedral complex, then its configuration is Eg2. 1 electron in this orbital, another electron in this orbital, Eg2. Now the CFSC is 1.2 delta T. If the metal ion is having 3 electrons, then it is Eg2 T2G1, because it is giving only high spin complexes. We don't observe pairing. Once these two are half filled, then third electron will enter into T2G, 1 electron here. Because 1 electron here, we need to decrease 0.4, so minus 0.8 delta T. For a D4 configuration, it is Eg2 T2G2, again decrease 0.4. For a D5 configuration, Eg2 T2G3, again decrease 0.4, 0. Please fill this table. Now all the orbitals are half filled, then sixth electron will come and pair here. So Eg3 T2G3, that means an electron pair, single electron, 3 single electrons here. So minus 0.6 delta T. D7 Eg4 T2G3 minus 1.2 delta T. D8 Eg4 T2G4 minus 0.8 delta T. For D9 Eg4 T2G5 minus 0.4 delta T. Now we will discuss about tetragonal distortion. What is octahedral complex? Metal and 4 ligands in the plane. So it is a square planar shape with 4 ligands. Then there are 2 more ligands, one above the plane, another one below the plane. With these 6 ligands, it becomes octahedral. In octahedral, the ligands approach the metal along the axis. That is why the dx square y square and dz square orbitals experience greater repulsion. So that is why we say these are destabilized, Eg orbitals. Now, look at this complex. In the previous case, we have said that this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. Now, look at this. Dx square y square orbital and dz square orbital. Now, along x and y axis, we have dx square y square orbital. Along z direction, we have dz square orbital. Out of the 6 ligands, 4 ligands are along x and y axis, whereas only 2 ligands are along z axis. That means this dx square y square orbital will experience greater repulsion compared to dz square orbital, because along dz square orbital we have only 2 ligands, whereas along x and y direction we have 4 ligands. So in a normal octahedral complex also, though we have said that dx square y square and dz square will have greater repulsion, but among dx square y square and dz square, dx square y square will have greater repulsion than dz square. So strictly speaking, in octahedral complexes, dz square will be lower in energy compared to dx square y square. Okay, this is not true in normal octahedral complexes. This case is observed when we have tetragonal distortion. What is tetragonal distortion? For example, if the 2 ligands along the z direction, if they are pulled away from the metal, that means, just look at this. Now I have written these 2 ligands away from the metal. Now what will happen? Because these 2 ligands along the z direction, they are moved away from the metal, they will decrease their repulsion with the metal orbitals. What is the orbital in this direction? It is dz square orbital. So when we move two ligands along the z direction away from the metal, then we will have decreased repulsions with the dz square orbital. So in this case, what happens? Dz square orbital will be little bit stabilized. Dx square y square orbital will be destabilized. This is what is called tetragonal distortion. In an octahedral complex, the electrons in dx square y square experience greater repulsion than dz square because there are four ligands along dx square y square orbital and only two ligands along dz square. This is because dx square y square orbital is repelled by four ligands, whereas dz square orbital is repelled by only two ligands. Hence, dz square orbital is slightly stabilized than dx square y square orbital. This is called tetragonal distortion. This is the case when the two ligands along the z-axis are moved away from the metal ion. In a tetragonally distorted complex, the orbitals with z contribution stabilizes than the orbitals without z contribution. Therefore, the order of energy of various d orbitals in a tetragonally distorted complex is given by dyz, which is equal in energy to dzx, then it is lesser in energy than dxy, which is lesser in energy than dz square, which is lesser in energy than dx square y square. That we will explain using a diagram. First, take the notes. Now we will try to draw the splitting of d orbitals in a tetragonal distortion. So this tetragonal distortion is basically derived from octahedral complex. So we know octahedral splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complex. D orbitals on a free metal ion. When we apply an hypothetical spherical field, when we apply hypothetical spherical field, all the d orbitals will experience same repulsion, so they will increase their energy. All the 5d orbitals will equally increase their energy. But in the presence of an octahedral complex, they will be split into two categories. In the presence of an octahedral field, in the presence of an octahedral ligand field, these will be split into two categories: lower level T2G and higher level EG. When we apply tetragonal distortion, what we are saying, orbitals with Z contribution, they will stabilize. Orbitals without Z contribution, they will destabilize. Now, in T2G level, we have dxy, dyz and dzx. Out of these, the z orbitals, that means dyz, dzx will stabilize and dxy will destabilize in a tetragonal distortion. In a tetragonal distortion field, out of the three orbitals in T2G level, orbitals with Z contribution will stabilize, orbitals without Z contribution will destabilize. In EG also, orbitals with Z contribution will stabilize, that means dz square. Orbitals without Z contribution, that is dx square y square, they will destabilize. So in a tetragonal distortion, this is the order of energy of the d orbitals. Dyz and dzx are having lower energy, then dxy, then dz square, and dx square y square have the highest energy. Now we will try to explain what is square planar. What is square planar? What is square planar complex? In an octahedral complex, if we remove these two ligands, then it becomes a square planar complex, right? What is square planar? When we remove the two ligands along the z direction, it becomes a square planar complex. Now, because we have completely removed the two ligands along the z direction, now z orbitals doesn't have any repulsion. Z orbitals doesn't have any repulsion. As a result, what happens? The orbitals with z contribution, they will further stabilize. They will further stabilize. So dyz, dzx. Orbitals without z contribution, they will further destabilize. So this dxy will increase its energy, dxy. Now it is a z orbital. Orbitals with z contribution will stabilize. So it will decrease its energy. Now orbitals without z contribution, they will increase their energy, dx square y square. So this is the crystal field splitting for a square planar complex. Square planar complex. If we remove ligands along the z direction, then z orbitals doesn't have any repulsion. As a result, what happens? All orbitals with z contribution, they will stabilize. So dyz, dzx will further stabilize. dxy will further destabilize. dz square will further stabilize. dx square y square will further destabilize. Now the energy difference between lowest level orbitals and highest level orbitals is called delta for square planar complexes. Yesterday in the previous classes we have told that delta square planar complex is greater than delta for octahedral complexes, right? See, for octahedral complexes it is very low, whereas square planar complexes it is very high. Generally, delta of square planar complexes is 1.3 times delta of octahedral complexes. Delta of square planar complexes is 1.3 times delta for octahedral complexes.